everybody, and welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this is the Thunder Show. Or maybe it's the extremely hot as heck show. It is well over 100 degrees up here on the roof of the Wine Library. And today's episode is, how does temperature affect the wine you're tasting? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this wonderful wine, which I had with the Vaniacs last Thursday in New York City, so I know it's a phenomenal bottle of wine. It's the Le Macchioli Vulgari Toscana blend, and we'll get into it downstairs in the office. But we're gonna plop this bottle down. It's now a little bit around 11 a.m., so we're gonna plop this bottle down for about 3 hours and let the 100+ degrees soak in. We're gonna go downstairs now, go to the cooler, the beer cooler, put a bottle in there, and then a third bottle I'm gonna have at regular temperature like I do on the show, and we're gonna analyze the 3 wines after 3 or 4 hours in extreme temperatures. How did it really affect? Kind of like the heat episode, Tony, if you're watching. So let me put this down, put it right over here, Mark. And let's go downstairs and put one in the cooler. So we're down here now by the beer cooler, and so we're obviously doing how different temperatures affect wine. So we're gonna put this bottle in the cold, unlike the heat that we had up there. So it's about 45 degrees in here. We're gonna put this bottle in for a couple of, 3 or 4 hours or so. I'm gonna put it right in here. Where should we put it? We'll put it right there. So we'll let that sit a little bit, and we'll taste it a little bit later. All right, let's grab the wines now and get this show started. Oh, the bottle's not in the same place. It was windy. It's leaking pretty good. They'll start talking again in a second, because then we're gonna let it cool down. Okay, we're back, but we're gonna have to let this wine cool up just a little bit. You may be able to see this lovely Le Macchioli has been cooked. It is hot, no question about that. So we're gonna let this kind of cool down a little bit. This one's still cold. I may actually put it back in my fridge to keep that more at a temperature. We're gonna give it 20 minutes or so to cool down because it's a little too hot. So I'll be back in a minute, but I just wanna show you this. This is the Clef de Vin, and it's been getting a lot of publicity. It talks about making your wine age over 1, 3, and 5, or 10 years instantaneously. So I think this is gonna be a fun show for us tomorrow to see if this $100 piece of equipment is worth it. A lot of people have been asking about that. I'm excited about that. So I will be back in about 20-30 minutes, and meanwhile, I will open these wines and let them start breathing a little bit. I really wanted to make it a pop and pour. See you in a little bit. Boy, this is one choppy episode. This is so not like us. Anyway, the reason I chose this wine Now we're back now. I put this in the fridge and we've got it all ready for you. I think we're ready. The reason I chose this wine was I've had it very recently. I think it's a fantastic wine. I'm very comfortable and aware of where this wine kind of is at this point, because not only did I have it with the Vaniacs, but it's one of the rare wines that I've taken more than a bottle home of. I actually have 6 bottles at home and I've already drank 3 of them. This is, so you know, let's get into that part, is the Le Macchioli Vulgari 2003 Toscana, Super Tuscan, 70% Sangiovese, 20% Merlot, 10% Cabernet Franc, 90 points Antonio Galani, who is now the critic for Italian wines for Robert Parker's Wine Advocate. And if you don't know who Galani is, Antonio Galani, you need to look him up. He's an exceptional critic. I'm a big fan of him, especially in Piedmont, where he has his grassroots. That's where he's from. But, you know, what he's done, that was something he did called the Piedmont Report before he started working for Parker. But I think he's exceptional, and he's definitely a good critic. And he scored this wine 90 points, and for 25 bones. You know, I call it in my own circle of friends, Baby Ornellaia. Ornellaia being a wine that, you know, tends to be in the $100 price range from Vulgari, and this is a wine I enjoy quite a bit. So I'm very familiar with this wine. We're going to start with the room temperature wine, then we're going to get into the cold wine, and then we're going to do the wine that is on fire. And I'm not so sure exactly why I have it in this order. There's no real reason. This is something I'm doing from the hip, so I don't know exactly what the right reason is. But before I do anything, I want to show you something I think is massively important. This is the regular. This is the corks on the regular. We're gonna need you to zoom in. This is the regular and this is the cold wine. As you can see, these are the corks, okay? Now I want you to pay attention to the wine that was outside in the heat. You can see can you see? It's a fairly significant difference in size. Hopefully the Matzer can make his camera work here.
Way tight.
A good, solid difference in size. And so one of the quick little fun facts that you can use, hopefully this episode will give you some value, is that if a wine is heat damaged, the cork will get a good expansion. So when you pop it, if you have it, you know, it's tough if you don't have another bottle to kind of check against, so I know that kind of diffuses it, but there is clearly an expansion of the cork. So let's get into the first wine. This is the room temperature standard WLTV style that we do, and this again is Le Macchioli Rosso Super Tuscan, 25 bucks, or bones as we like to say. We got the super big glass today because I really want to get in there and really analyze this situation. It's a lot of fun. This is an interesting episode. One thing off the bat that this wine completely attacks on is the bouquet. This wine has a tremendous, exceptional, and almost uncanny nose. I'm very, very excited about the floral aspect of this wine. But on top of that, it's got almost like, what's that candy that, you know, Ricola candies? You know, they weren't candies, were they? Like some cough drops, but I kind of ate them like candies. Think of Ricola dropping in dirt and then picking back up and putting it in your mouth. That's exactly what this smells like. It's got a very Ricola, dirty, floral kind of nose. And that really pinpoints this wine perfectly to me. This is a vegetable garden with some dirtiness, and clearly that Ricola, which I'm sure has some sort of herbal component from some country, and I'm missing it right now, but that's what this smells like, and I like it a lot. There's also some rounded cherries and strawberries and berries kind of on the outer limits, like a wall surrounding this island of Ricola, dirt, and vegetables. Let's give it a whirl. This is where this wine excels, in the flavor and on the palate. And it's kind of like a really good thing to do for a wine, to excel in that part, because that's a key part of the wine. It's kind of like only being good at basketball. Gets you 150 million. Only being good at hitting a fastball. You gotta hit a curve and a slider too. Gets you 150 million. So what I'd like to see from this wine is, maybe it is not the most aromatically phenomenal wine of all time. Maybe it's not the most flavorful or the biggest or the most explosive or the best of all time. But however, this knows what it's doing. It is absolutely pinpoint professional wine. P-dub on this one, because the flavors are so beautiful. A gorgeous integration of cocoa bean mixed in with dark chocolate syrup, mixed in with beautiful herbal action. Let's call it herbal action. Ha! As I like to call it. and wonderful sour cherry on the finish. This wine packs an enormous punch. I had so much fun watching the Vaniac response in New York City last Thursday and seeing how they were overwhelmed and excited by this wine. There was a lot of buzz in the room. We had a lot of great wine, but seeing people's reaction on this wine was very telling and exciting. The couple of times I've popped it open for some friends at home as well, there's been huge reaction to this wine. Downright delicious. This wine is explosive, beautiful, and well made. An absolutely, positively, fundamental steal of a wine. I think this wine far more acts like a $50 wine than anything else, and at that point, I would score this wine 92 plus. I think Cologny's being conservative. I love the fact that there's the Cab Franc aspect in here. I get that. I get a little bit of that vegetal aspect on the nose from the Cab Franc. It's a very interesting wine and a little different. I think, it's got so much tradition, and then just a sprinkle, not a 50-50, not a half pregnant style of New World. No, a sprinkle of the New World and a sprinkle of the even older world with the Cab Franc that make this wine so interesting. Beautiful sour cherry, very pronounced. I'm really trying to capture this in my palate and in my mind, seeing all the aspects, because I really want to help you understand today how the temperature impacts the wine's flavor. Let's give the next wine a try. And this is the cold wine. Now this has been in like 45 degree temperature for most of the day, and in 55 degree temperature, 45 degree temperature, 35 degree temperature. It's been cold. So let's see what's going on here. Again, same exact wine, just considerably colder. Let's give it a smell. You know what? I'll be right back. Come on, keep them entertained. Tell them a story. Let's do this. Just for kicks and giggles, just in case I forget. God, this is nice and warm. Look at how it heat. Can you see this? It like gave smoke to the glass, like heated up the glass. It's pretty rad. There's like fog coming out. It's like a fog bowl. Okay, so this wine is definitely much cooler. And you know what? On the nose, there's definitely a difference. It comes off a little bit more chalky, a little colder, and a little more chalky. But overall, the same flavor profile I got on the nose. The Ricola may be a little bit less pronounced in this effort. I often find the cold does mask the nose and the flavors. I am not a big fan of cellar temperature reds or colder wines, even on white wine. I'm a room temperature guy. I believe this goes back to the high school beer theory. Most people in high school want their beers cold as heck because they don't like the taste. They just want to be cool. So let's give this a whirl. This comes down to understanding why people like things. As this hit my palate, it became very clear to me why people like cellar temperature reds or colder, because it's nice. It's 104 degrees outside, and it's a nice attack on your palate. The tannins are coming through much more obvious to me on this effort than they did in the room temperature wine. Overall, though, the flavor profile is there. The jamminess, the cherries and the berries on the outskirts, that little hint of, dirtiness, vegetal aspect is there. Very, very similar. But clearly not as good to me. I mean, that was extremely obvious. There was just a lot more flavor profile and expression in this wine. And this wine, it's just closed and it's tighter. It's kind of like wearing, well, this is probably a bikini. This is probably a t-shirt. And this is like wearing a fur coat. You're not seeing everything. And that's kind of how I feel like this wine is going at this point. This is definitely a more closed down version of this wine. Hence, if you put it in a cellar, you can age it for a lot longer. Now, obviously, this is a quick little experiment. This is not so much about cellaring. This is about the temperature and how it hits your palate. And I assume, just like every other wine, every palate is different. It's going to pick up different things. But I think there's a clear component coming through in this experiment so far that the cold wine is a little bit tighter and definitely is not expressing as much flavor. Let's move on to the last wine. So actually, I screwed that up. So what I'll do is this. I feel like Mr. Wizard right now. That's the cold wine, and now the warm wine. Now this wine was upstairs for 3-4 hours, got cooked real good. I think this is a great experiment for the people that drive around Napa in California and forget the wine in their car and wonder if it's bad or not. One of the things that I was always taught early on by my wine expert friends was if you think you have a cooked wine, to pop it right away. So if you ever do buy a special wine in California, forget in the back seat, then I would highly recommend that you try it right away. It's looking like a nice cocoa. So let's give this a smell and a whirly whirl. This is interesting. This is still like steaming. So this is probably hotter than most people would have this wine. So what we're going to do again, we'll do another cooked wine episode where we'll take it down to room temperature to really kind of simulate the exact experience of a cooked wine. This may be a little bit hotter than most people would want to taste it at, but that's what I'm here for. I step up for you. And speaking of stepping up for you, I've been in a really crazy mood lately. I've been really appreciating people digging me, friending me up, feeling me up. I got a couple last night. That was awesome. It's been real cool. And the whole Facebook thing is out of control. Please, if you have Facebook, friend me up. We're having a lot of fun there. We're doing applications, doing some apps. Apps are fun. You know, I'm the kind of guy that eats 4 appetizers and no main course. So I like apps. So I've been really in the mood to do something special, to step up for you guys, as I'm completely stalling to make this a little cooler. And I wanted to do something really nice. So I was like, what can I do for the Vaniacs and all these new people that are coming and all these nice people and everybody's having fun and we're having a lot of fun. I said, you know what? Put my money where my mouth is. Step up and do something radical. I know you want free shipping. Kind of, sort of. Ready for this? I've decided to do something completely cool. These are the new Vaniac t-shirt. His and hers. Link below. This is the 4-pack carrier, which I like this one quite a bit because you actually see the top of the bottle, which I always thought was cool. You know, it actually goes further, but I want to speed it up for you. This is the 4-pack black carrying case from Wine Library. This is the 2-pack. Does it come with a corkscrew? No, get your own. And this is the 1-packs, and these are like canvas. These are nice. Actually, these do come with corkscrews. Now, these all vary about $7.99, I think, each for the bags, and 15 bones for the t-shirts. I'm going insane on your ass because you guys have been so phenomenal to me. I apologize for the last word I used, but I know I get in trouble sometimes. I want to do something real cool. Here's what we're doing. Now through Sunday, because I know a lot of people don't catch the episodes till a day or two later, these products, with the code word Vaniac, Vaniac, V-A-Y-N-I-A-C, links below. Mott's going to throw them up. There's going to be 4 or 5 links below. Any of these products, we're going to give to you for $5.99, including the t-shirts, and free shipping. Buy everything now. Gifts. Every friend that you've ever wanted to give anything to. Ship it for free. Put their shipping address. I want to do something rad. I hope you like it. That was awesome. I'm going to break this damn $10,000 camera. I hope you like it. I hope you wear it. I hope you use the bags. Because when you go to a restaurant, what do you use, a brown paper bag? You got it that I'm sporting one of these bad boys. They're nice. So I want to do something cool. I hope you appreciate it. Use the code. You've got the next couple of days. Buy up. Be Santa Claus. Harry Hanukkah. Whatever you are, use it. And I hope you have some fun. And definitely expect the t-shirts to go bye-bye. Because from $15 and $6 shipping to $5.99 and no shipping, it's Christmas in July. Hot wine. Let's give it a whirl. Now, aromatically, this is extremely different from the 2 wines. This wine has almost like a a minty eucalyptus. Well, maybe there's a Ricola kind of action going on with very hot cherry sauce poured on top of it. It definitely, you know what? As a matter of fact, it really just accelerates the herbal action that I was getting in the first wine. So I don't know how different really it is, but let's give it a whirl. So this wine's warm on the palate, so it's a different sensation altogether. It's a little bit more medicine-y. You know, it tastes, you know, that's where that Ricola is coming in again. I get a mint and eucalyptus action on this wine. The cherry is a little bit less. There's hardly any raspberry like there was in the first wine. But overall, all three still have all the same characteristics. They are all the same wine. It's obviously not as attractive on the mouthfeel with the warmness. It's not something I'm used to from a sensation standpoint. But I will definitely tell you that if taken to complete room temperature on this wine, it's definitely not spoiled. It's not all that bad. You know, I think I like it. As a matter of fact, I almost feel like this is flash aged. I almost feel like it's a 1 year or 2 year ahead of the other two wines in its aging process from the heat. You know, I might start putting my wines all on the roof of the wine library. That's right, let them mature. Maybe put some 82 Bordeaux's up there, 2005 Bordeaux's when they first come up. Let's put cases up there. We'll act like it's 2050. Oh, actually, we're doing that tomorrow. This thing's gonna save us all, you know. Anyway, I like it. It's not bad. I mean, it's definitely not bad at all. I mean, it's a little bit more rounded. It's a little bit more approachable. If this was at regular room temperature, there is a dark horse chance that I would almost find this the most fond of the three wines. Again, it's lacking a little fruit and got a lot more medicine-y and vegetal. It'll be really interesting to see if 5 or 6 years at room temperature or slowly maturing, if that's where the wine goes. Overall, I find this to be an exceptional wine, and that's why I used it for this project. It's something you should definitely seek out if you have the opportunity to try. We just did Super Tuscans. This probably, to me, it's easily, I think it's as good as the Sieppe. I know I scored at 1 point less, but who cares about points? Trust your own palate. Who cares about me? No rules. Wine bully, punch him in the face. All that good jazz. Having a lot of fun. I hope you guys appreciate this stuff. We're going to lose a boatload of money, but you're going to look cool with bags and t-shirts. I'm really excited. I love swag. You like swag? And please friend me up. I'm having so much fun with that. That's about it. Question of the day. What is your ass? Age, sex, and state. I want to get a little feel of who's watching this darn show. Because you, with a little bit of me, we're changing the wine world. Aren't we?